Zimbabwe for tuning into yet another informative edition of your program. This is Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness in support of Vision 2030. This is where we discuss everything agriculture, and we also look at time value of money, business finance, production economics, and we would have done an injustice to this program if we do not talk about tobacco production. You would find that the 2024-2025 production season and even the marketing season was marked with excellence, where we are celebrating reaching our targets and even exceeding our targets, which speaks to the robust system that has been put in place in line with research. Our research is top-notch, and as such we are going to be looking at tobacco varieties that are available on the market, even looking at issues surrounding the malpractices that some of our farmers who seek to cut corners are engaging in to be profitable, to maximize on their yields, and yet they are distracting or disrupting the value chain of our tobacco industry here in Zimbabwe. To discuss this, and I've taken the liberty of inviting Dr. Magama. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Kutsaga right here in Zimbabwe. Dr. Magama, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the wonderful opportunity, Wadzanai.
Yes. As we get into our discussion, Dr. Magama, here at Kutsaga, I can tell those who are watching can see that you've already started the season. Our seedlings are headed towards clipping.
Yes.
They have already emerged uniformly. But before we speak of that, I want us to talk about a brief background of the research institution here of Kutsaga. How does it start? When did it start? What do you do to ensure that the process is to ensure that the varieties that you are producing are suitable and conducive for the Zimbabwean farmer?
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. I must also say this is a special year for us, 75 years of age. Born in 1950, now we are here 75 years later. To kickstart your question, so 1950, the need for tobacco is realized as a profitable crop, and the first varieties to be grown in Zimbabwe were American and Canadian varieties. So these were imported from countries that had already started production in the world. Fast forward a few years later, research into producing varieties that are suited for rhodesia then started, and we've taken that step to ensure since then we are producing something that is unique for the world, that is suited for our country. So how we go about it is start with the identification of a challenge that growers are facing in our nation or in a subsector. So take like Mashonaland West, what are the challenges that are there? Then the team of scientists, I'm glad to tell you that I spent 30 years of my life studying the discipline of plant breeding. So that's how I joined Kutsaga. So we spend so much time now looking at the challenge that farmers are having. Then we look into the material that we have, the genetics from other countries or even from our own, and we look and see which ones could do better for the people that are having this current challenge. It could be a disease problem, it could be maturity of our tobacco, it could be the way the variety looks after it's been grown. So after that, there's a scientific process that takes about 7 years, where you are crossing and combining the genes from one variety to another to come up with one hybrid that incorporates the attributes that you are interested in. And after those 7 years of mixing and testing, we then take this variety to the growers out there who are going to test these varieties to see that indeed the challenge that they used to have has been addressed by the seed or by the variety that they have chose. When the farmers are happy, we take the variety to the trade, which are our merchants and our buyers, to say, this variety Kutsaga is developed, growers are happy, is good for certain trades that are affecting them. Are you happy? Can you put a price on this tobacco? Then the growers would do what we call blind tests, where we don't tell them which variety it is. Then they put them on $4.99, $5.99. If those varieties, new varieties, are producing the type of leaf that buyers are willing to buy at a high figure, then it's another plus sign for us. Lastly, we take the tobacco itself to the smokers themselves to see whether the smoke that is coming there is delicious or of the quality that they know. Once the assessment of smoke, the price that is coming from the buyers, the happiness of our growers, and the signs of our scientists has been approved, we sit as a trade, as everyone stakeholder involved. This sitting is organized by our ministry and TIMB, where we put it across to say this variety should be grown. Then we get a stamp of approval. That's how a variety is now suited for the nation or suited for certain challenges that growers may be. So as you can imagine, it's a lengthy process that involves many stakeholders until we get to an alignment that every value chain actor in the tobacco chain has had an input in a variety. So the variety from Zimbabwe, it suits everyone, and it also suits those that will buy from outside Zimbabwe. So that's the process that we take our varieties through.
What varieties, the name of varieties that we have on the market, the number of varieties that we have on the market, and could you maybe align them to the different agroecological zones that we have in Zimbabwe? We have farmers in Mashonaland Central, Mvurwi, Bindura, etc. Also have those in Karoi, Magunje. We also have people in Manikaland, some in Mashonaland East. Do you have specific varieties that you would encourage them to say, if you're in Mashonaland West, you should produce this? If you're in Mash West, if Mash East, you should go with this? What is it like from you, from a perspective of a seasoned plant breeder, according to our agroecological zones?
Thank you so much. We have, the country is divided into 3 regions, depending where you are, and these are demarcated according to their altitude and also the general temperature during the growing season. So there is one region which we call the fast growing areas, which are areas that are coming from the north until you get to Chegutu there. Those are fast growing areas. Then we've got areas that we call the medium growing areas, which is the borderline with Chegutu, Kutsaga, part of Triloni. Those are the middle growing areas. Then we have what we call the slow growing areas, which are the countries which are very much to the east. So you're looking at Marondera, Rusape, right up to Odzi and a few other places. But within those districts, there are some pockets like Odzi. It's a fast growing areas because of the temperatures that are there. So broadly, we can fit varieties according to these growing regions. So in principle, we say a fast growing area, say Karoi, will need a slow growing area. What it means is if you grow a fast ripening variety in a fast growing area, that variety has not enough time to accumulate the biomatter that gives the yield and also the quality that we want. So a fast growing area such as Karoi will need a slow ripening variety.
Okay.
That's one. A middle growing area will need a fast or a medium ripening variety. Those that are in the slow growing area such as Marondera and Rusape would need a fast maturing variety, because if you put a slow ripening variety in Marondera, it will take you much more time for it to grow or to mature, or for you to complete your cycle. You will remember that we are required to destroy our stocks by the 15th of May. So if you do plant late in a slow growing area to a slow ripening variety, then you end up reaping your tobacco after the legislated stock destruction. But we've gone further. Allow me to go a little bit further.
It's okay.
We also, when choosing variety, we also ask ourselves a few more questions apart from where you are growing from. We also want to know what kind of disease affects you at the farm.
Yes.
We also want to know where are you selling your cured leaf. Are you selling to the traditional markets or the orange styles, or you want the lemon styles? So we can also differentiate our varieties according to the type or the quality that you want to produce for your contractor. We also look into, do you have irrigation, or you are going to put that crop as a dry land? There are some varieties that will do in a irrigated crop. There are some in a dry land crop. So we can help you choosing those. So to me, for our growers, when you look at a variety, don't just look at that thing that you are buying to grow. There's much more science pegged in that variety, and there are also lots of questions that you need so that you can unlock the genetics that is being bred by Kutsaga.
Thank you so much, Dr. Magama. On that note, viewers, we've come to the end of the first segment. We're going to go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back with this and more in the second segment. Stay tuned. Thank you, Zimbabwe, for staying tuned to Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness in support of Vision 2030. We are headed towards the 2025-2026 tobacco production season, and it all begins with research, which is why we are here today with Dr. Magama, looking at how varieties are developed and produced here at Kutsaga. Now, viewers, I encourage you to be a part of these conversations. Feel free to get in touch with the producer, Wadzanai Manyore, so 0772-807-506. Alternatively, you can like our Facebook page, Agribusiness with Wadzanai. Make a follow-up on this episode and more, and leave your comments and suggestions. They are most welcome to us. Our YouTube channel is Agribusiness with Wadzanai. We are also now available on X, formerly known as Twitter. It's at Agribusiness110. On LinkedIn, we have a thriving, growing community, and our profile there is at Wadzanai Manyore. Now, earlier on from the break, Dr. Magama was telling us of the importance of variety selection, the attributes or the characteristics that you need to look at to ensure that you are getting a variety that is tailor-made for your region, for your soil type, and even what you intend to do in terms of yields. Dr. Magama, we are here in the second segment. Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Yes, getting deeper into these conversations, Dr. Magama, we now have people who are engaging in malpractices of either smuggling tobacco seedlings or either purchasing their tobacco seedlings from unrecognized or unreputable institutions that even you as Kutsaga, that even the government is not even aware of. But when you go out there in communal areas, without knowing or without even looking at the package to ascertain, is this from Kutsaga? Is this from a reputable source? I would want you to talk to us as a plant breeder, the detrimental effects of such practices, either to the environment, how it contaminates your research systems, how it disturbs or disrupts the market. We are trusted as Zimbabwe, be it that we are producing our Zimbabwe flavored tobacco, but at times these malpractices are compromising what we are doing in this industry. Your sentiments, your views on that?
Thank you for that. Wadzanai, I would not call it a malpractice. I think this is sabotage of the national economy. Those that are involved in that practice in any way are saboteurs of our economy. Just look at this year, the amount of revenue that is being recovered from tobacco, the amount of money that is in our people's pockets because of tobacco, the level of research that Kutsaga does to support this industry, to be defeated by someone who is doing this sabotage, I think it's very sorry. And I would want to encourage our growers, our security forces, those that we are working for, that this not be seen in isolation, but those as sabotage attempts to our national recovery, economic recovery. It should be taken with the seriousness that it deserves. Now, what we have now discovered is that there's quite a lot of people that are using these illegal and traditional or landrace of tobacco that is not even suited for the type of tobacco that we are renowned for. So some effect of that is that we are contaminating our environment. As we said, our material that we are breeding for the nation has got best resistant to certain diseases.
Yes.
When we bring seed from outside that has not gone through government quarantine services to check for disease, we are importing disease from other countries into our nation, and this is going to hit us in a big way.
Yes.
Of course, Kutsaga will respond by breeding resistant varieties over time, but that time when we don't have that resistance, our national output is going to go down, our revenue is going to go down, our livelihoods is going to go down. So this is the impact that it will have, and we are going to end up contaminating our soils, our tobacco, and guess what? Tobacco shares same disease with potatoes, with tomatoes. So it's not tobacco that is going to be affected, but the national cropping calendar can be affected by these activities. Furthermore, our product is an international product. It goes out where it's much favored and is renowned for its flavor. And we do these practices of unknown varieties, unknown flavors, unknown quality. We are diluting the signature flavors and smoke that we have. And as you know, Wadzanai, the market does not give second chances. We are a preferred destination. Once we lose that preferred status, then again the nation suffers.
Yes.
So it might appear that you are gaining by growing these illegal varieties, but the sum effect is you are defeating our national prosperity.
Yes. Now, Dr. Magama, looking at the calendar that you've spoken about before we move on to the next question, dates of establishing seedlings. I understand that there are some farmers who are saying that we are racing against time. If you go in certain areas, some already have seedlings that should see that are in line with the dates they produced much earlier. Or some even because of their resistance, they end up even going beyond planting dates. Even in January, they will still be planting. Our environment or our heat units here support that. Let us talk a bit about dates, just dates of establishing, stock destruction, and why is it important from a researcher's perspective to adhere to those dates that you are putting out?
Thank you so much for that question. It's very critically important that we understand these dates, and these dates are adhered to. So no tobacco should be grown in the country before the 1st of June.
Yes.
Right. And no tobacco should go to the field before the 1st of September. Then no seed beds, as you see here, should survive beyond the 31st of December in any year. And all tobacco should be out of the field by the 15th of May.
Okay.
These legislative dates are gathered from scientific evidence,
Yes,
where you are tracking the prevalence of diseases and insect pests that can affect a crop. So when we finish our season, we want what we call a dead period. This is the period between the 15th of May and up to the 15th to the second week of June. When you sow, it will take 10 to 14, 21 days before germination starts. So we've got a period of almost 1 month when there is no food for pests of tobacco. So the net effect, it tends to reduce the amount of pests or disease that can be transmitted by this disease. So essentially we're saying there's no carryover from last season to another.
Okay.
So for those that are doing it, we have proved at Kutsaga there's no yield or quality benefit of starting earlier. Essentially what we are doing is we are putting a bridge between last season and next season in terms of disease pressure.
Okay.
But however, should you find yourself and have compelling reason why you need to plant much earlier, the statute is clear. You make an application to plant quarantine services. That looks at the application where you are farming and whether the variables would affect the national cropping or not. Then you are given an approval and you are also given measures that you should take so that there is no carryover. So those that are not seeking that approval, again, are defeating good husbandry. They are defeating sustainability. They are causing massive yield losses by the carryover of the disease to the next season. Okay. So we should and we must dissuade those, or at least report them to the authorities, those that are doing this activity.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Magama. There you heard it, viewers. Dr. Magama here was emphasizing on the fact that there isn't much yield that you would get from being the earliest or even conniving with your neighbors or with your employees to sort of like go ahead and try to hide away or move away from the dates that you are given by our researchers. There isn't much reward to that. You need to adhere to that, that which we are being given as the tobacco industry. On that note, we're going to go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back with this and more in the third and final segment. Stay tuned. Thank you, Zimbabwe, for staying tuned to Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness, in support of Vision 2030. We are looking at tobacco production, given that the season has commenced. We now have our seedbed and necessary places in place, where we are having Zimbabwean farmers running to Kutsaga, running to our researcher to obtain their seedlings. But as such, you would find that every now and again, we have farmers who are looking to cut corners. We have makoronyera rent seekers who are looking to disrupt the industry for such, for just small amounts of money. Pocket money, they are willing to disrupt the entire value chain, which is what we are looking at today with Dr. Magama. We are looking at some of the illegal practices that some people are coming in with, especially with the purchasing or the availability of seedlings that cannot be traced to where it came from. Dr. Magama, we are here in the third and final segment. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, Dr. Magama, what are you doing as an organization to ensure that our Zimbabwean farmers are protected? They are not participating or they are not being shortchanged by makoronyera who are coming in with my seedlings, arimtuma packet, arimtuma teaspoon or whatever. What are you doing as an institution to ensure that the Zimbabwean farmer is protected, and even to curb or control the risks that are coming with those illegal seeds?
Thank you so much for that. We made sure that we are bringing convenience to our growers throughout the nation or tobacco producing areas. So what we have are Kutsaga outlet shops in all the major tobacco producing countries, and we are marketing these heavily. And we also have situated agronomists, tobacco agronomists from Kutsaga that are able to assist farmers. So growers, for genuine seeds, you need to go to a Kutsaga shop,
Yeah.
or a Kutsaga approved outlet. So you will see this. If you are buying any seed in a vehicle anywhere else which is not a shop that is branded Kutsaga with a Kutsaga team and with the agronomist, you are rest assured that you are buying fake seed. And the thing about fake seed, once you have that fake seed, and when you grow it, you might find it's not the strain of tobacco that you want. You find it's barley, and you cannot sell it that. And you have lost a season and all the value. And the packaging of our seed continuously is improving. We have our packaging that has all the details about the variety, including grower information, the name of the variety. We have now also inserted what we call a QR code. Most of our growers have got smartphones. You can take a picture, it will tell you exactly which variety is it, what are the agronomic attributes, should you have any problem, where should you go. So for those that are buying by spoonfuls and bucketsfuls, not in a Kutsaga branded packet, I'm sorry, this is going to be a painful season for you, because we have now, apart from educating our growers, we are also educating our extension workers and also our contractor agronomists that tobacco will not be allowed at the floors. We are making sure that that tobacco is identified. It will be very painful for you to lose your yield when you cannot trace back your tobacco to a packet of seed that has been approved by TIMB and the Tobacco Research Board. So to answer your question, we are training everyone that is involved. We have also put security features to ensure growers, when they are buying this comfort. We also have regional agronomists and outlets where you can check whether what you are buying is bona fide seed. Then in that way, you are assured of the integrity of the hybrid that you are buying.
Now, Dr. Magama, with regards to penalties, or even what in a case whereby people are suspecting that this person is selling smuggled or illegal seeds, do we have a hotline? Do we have offices that we approach as farmers? Or even just speaking about the consequences of someone bringing in seeds that are not traceable?
Thank you so much for that question. In the season, the few people that have been caught with illegal varieties, these were caught at the time that they wanted to go and sell, and that tobacco has been made quarantined from getting into the national chain, and that tobacco is likely to be destroyed in the coming weeks. So these are the consequences of doing the illegal things.
Yeah.
There are also, if you are caught, we work close in hand with TINB Inspectorate. So these are our partners in enforcing this legislation. We also work with Seed Services, or in the Ministry of Agriculture, and those from the Plant Quarantine Services. So these are our stakeholders where we report. As Kutsaga, we have our numbers and our platforms where we are able to collect that information, and we pass it to enforcement so that the culprits can then be prosecuted. There are certain sections in the TIMB Act that prevent this. You can actually be jailed of up to 4 years, or you may be made to pay a fine. But definitely, if there's a crop that is illegal, it will be destroyed at your own cost.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Now, Dr. Magama, as we close this episode, we are headed into the season. We are getting into the thick of it. People are preparing nursery beds and so forth. Your word of advice to the Zimbabwe producing community, to our Zimbabwean farmers, as this Chief Executive Officer responsible for breeding these amazing varieties, what would you want to say to our Zimbabwean farming community, just equipping them kuvaraira sezotava kunopinda mumunda?
Tinotenda wadzanai. The Tobacco Research Board is a government entity responsible for advising anyone wanting to grow tobacco. We have stations dotted around Zimbabwe so that there is contact between any grower who wants, and we've got training sessions here every Wednesday, free of charge. We have hotline numbers and extension workers that are available to any grower anytime, free of charge. Kindly use those platforms so that you have the latest information and you have got the latest recommendations and you are suitably guided. We have the seed of all the varieties that you may want for any section of the country, for any disease that you may want. We have apart from the seed, should you find yourself that you want to grow tobacco, but you have not yet time to grow your seedling, as you can see here, this is a commercial crop that is available for the nation. Anyone wants to buy seedlings so that they can go, these seedlings are expertly produced here on station and are also available. As you also grow your tobacco, Wadzanai, should you meet any challenges in any way, you are free to contact the Tobacco Research Board so that they can give you the necessary advisory to ensure that your crop is productive, is of high quality. My general aging is we have got these saboteurs that have come through in our value chain that needs to be weeded out so that we can continue to enjoy the benefit of the research that has been provided and the markets that have been opened. Please report these, as you put, the malpractices, which I call nefarious, to the authorities that are close to you so that they can be dealt with accordingly.
Thank you so much, Dr. Magama, for taking your time to come onto our platform and educate the Zimbabwean farmer in line with tobacco varieties that are available for their use, for their productivity, for their profitability and sustainability. It was a pleasure having you.
It's a pleasure, Wadzanai. Thank you so much.
There you heard it, viewers. We're looking at the 2025-2026 tobacco production season. We are getting into the thick of it. Farmers are running around purchasing their seedlings. But as you know, in every proper value chain, there are malpractices. There are those who seek to sabotage the entire chain for just a few coins, for just a few dollars. They are willing to derail the entire thing. From me, your host, Wadzanai Manyora, I'm also on Instagram. Is at Wadzi110. And the crew behind the scenes. Have yourselves a fabulous evening. Thank you for watching.